and good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock on Friday, and it is time for our weekly Facebook Live. Now, I saw a post yesterday, and I reposted it, and I had looked at it, of course. I had not done an in-depth review, but I looked at it. It looked very legitimate and that kind of thing, and so I posted it, and it caused quite a lot of controversy. So I went through it in depth to see kind of what was going on. And so I'm going to just walk you through this because there are a lot of comments that came on that post, and I've tried to answer those comments on the post so people know kind of how we feel about it. But I also want to go through it with you here because some people thought that this was a hatchet job on essential oil companies, and I just didn't read it that way. I read it as very balanced. People attacked the people that did the report, which I looked at the people that did it, and it comes from a very reliable source. It's a consumer advocate group. It is made up of lawyers and researchers, and what they're trying to do is to make sure that the information that is out there is very, very plain and very helpful for us. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is important, and I just want to first give a disclaimer. I don't particularly like multi-level marketing companies. Now, why is that? Well, they have to have a much higher price because they have to pay God and everybody in the downline. So for that reason, I don't like them. However, there are some very good companies, and that is their business model. And so even though I don't like the business structure, we still do order herbs. We order herbs from a multi-level marketing company, and we also, our own essential oils also come. So want to just be real clear, even though I don't like the business model, I can't choose what other businesses do. And so we do, just want to give you that disclaimer out there. Not all of the oils that were analyzed were from multi-level marketing, but that's just part of it. Okay, so these people, it's called the Consumer Advocates ORG. That means it is a non-profit organism, corporation, and they are not making money from what they're doing. What they're doing is they're actually working on your behalf to provide safety. And so I just want to read a little bit about why they said they did what they did. It says, when we first decided to write about essential oils, we really did not know what we were getting into. As complex chemical substances, essential oils aren't your average product. And boy, you can say that again. But they are present in almost everything that we purchase. From bath to body products to cosmetics and even sodas, essential oils are a part of our daily life. As we dug deeper into the subject of essential oils, researching their health benefits and risks, learning about aromatherapy practices, and talking to experts in the field, we discovered that the essential oil industry itself is plagued with misinformation and dangerous practice. So this is why this is important, because as a holistic practitioner, I know that essential oils are very, very beneficial to your health. But I also know there is a lot of misinformation out there. And just because people tell you that it's safe does not mean that it is safe. Now, I'm just going to digress a little bit into telling you what I have found myself in dealing with multi-level marketing companies. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Years and years ago, I wanted to offer essential oils, and I knew a little bit about them, but I did not know everything that I did need to know. And so I began to just do the sniff test. Which oil did I think smelled the best? And I did that, and I purchased the oils, and I talked to the lady. It was multi-level marketing, like I said. And I talked to the lady that was right above me and asked her if she would teach a class on essential oils. And she said she would be happy to. So she came in, and we had a class. It was a small class. Thank God it was a small class, because my expectation was for her to talk to us about how to use essential oils and what essential oils were good for this, that, and the other. I had no idea that there were so many essential oils out there and so many different good benefits to the essential oils, but all she wanted to do was to enroll people and talk to them about the opportunity. So I was really turned off by that, and that really is part of my hesitancy with multi-level marketing products because of the push. You've got to have auto ship, you've got to get people signed up, and I just, frankly, that's just not how I like to do business. So, but what she did tell us, and what she told me later, a lot of what she said was full of misinformation. And I did not want, as a practitioner, I did not want to lead you down the wrong road, and I did not want to have in the clinic essential oils that were not the right thing. So, I kind of did a lot more research and took more classes and became more educated, and I am in the process of becoming a clinical aromatherapist, which is going to take quite a few months because it's very, very in-depth and intense, and I'm learning more every day, and I absolutely love it. So we want to, back to their methodology, right? They picked 3 essential oils that were the most frequently bought, and that was peppermint and lavender and tea tree oil. And we love those oils. We absolutely do. And they say after 5 business days, the results were in, and our jaws dropped as we learned that 6 out of the 11 lavender oils and 4 out of the 11 peppermint oils tested positive for adulterations. It says tea tree did not result in any alterations, but the chemical composition of this oil makes it more challenging to detect them. So this is what I was thinking here. And so they tested it. They tested these oils. They sent these oils to the Aromatic Plant Research Center in Utah. This is a state-of-the-art laboratory that utilizes a variety of methods to detect alterations and to confirm the purity of essential oils. Our executive advisory board is internationally renowned for quality control testing and expertise within the essential oil industry. The APRC, okay, that's we're going to label it that way, aspires to re-image the essential oil industry by conducting state-of-the-art quality testing, performing groundbreaking research, producing cutting-edge publications, and creating unparalleled educational material, right? So this is really good. These are doctorate level professionals. They are the undisputed leaders in the essential oil industry from around the world. So this is not just me taking it down to a medical lab down the street. This is a lab that is on purpose, right? It's testing these oils, and they are state of the art. All right. The national, I think it was called the consumeradvocates.org. It is a nonprofit organization of more than 150 attorneys and consumer advocates committed to representing the consumer's interests. Okay, the members are private and public sector attorneys, legal service attorneys, law professors, law school students, as well as other professionals in the industries, right? So their goal is to make sure we have the right kind of information when we purchase these oils. Now, back to the methodology, okay? It's the people that did this test. They said from blog posts and articles to charts and videos, most of these companies on our list go out of their way to offer a wide variety of educational content. Some companies offer wellness tips, while others have entire series on the safety of essential oil, as well as recipes and platforms where consumers can interact with guest aromatherapists or essential oil practitioners. All right. They do list the Tesserand Institute, okay, as an excellent resource for learning the basics of essential oils. And we love Tesserand. We just absolutely love him. So I'm going to put that out there. There were 11 companies. Now, I wanted to know why they chose these particular 11 companies, and nobody Nobody said. But these are the well-known brands. There were some brands that I did not know. Okay, so there was doTERRA, Young Living, Mountain Rose Herbs, Plant Therapy. I had never heard of Plant Therapy. Ameo Zija, Ameo Zija. I had never heard of that. Aromatics International. I had never heard of them. Eden's Garden, Acacia, now Rocky Mountain Oils, and Artesian Aromatics. So a lot of these are, people that we know, people that we see on the shelves all the time. Some of these that I have heard of, I don't particularly like. I'm just going to throw that out there. I just don't think there's just a lot of good quality there, but I digress. We're going to move on to the testing here, okay? So just if you think that this is something that's just fly by night, they spent over 600 hours researching these oils. So they didn't just buy something off the shelf and send it somewhere. They did their research. They spent over 600 hours. They tested 33 essential oils, collaborated with a group of experts who have dedicated their careers to researching and writing about essential oils. So this, I believe, is a credible report. And they also give you the gas chromatography, mass spectrometry. I can never say those two words or those two tests together. They actually, in this report, give you those lab tests so you can look at it for yourself. Now, I don't know how smart you are. I'm not smart enough to read those. Okay, I have not been trained in that. I don't know that I'm going to be trained in that. But the people at the lab are trained in that, and they're able to tell you each of the chemical constituents of the oil, should they be in there, number one, and if they are in there, are they the authentic organic chemicals, or are they synthetic chemicals? And I have been doing a lot of research on food additives and that kind of thing, and there's just, our chemistry is so good and our labs are so good. I did a broadcast on this a couple of weeks ago that said that the flavors, the artificial flavors, could taste absolutely better than the natural organic flavors, and so people don't really care. Well, I care, because when I'm using essential oils, I'm using essential oils for their vibrational frequencies. I believe that the vibrational frequencies of the oils is the constituent or constituents that bring healing to the body. When you are looking at oils that are adulterated, now there's a difference between adulterated and contaminated, all right? So adulterated means it has other components. They might be organic, they might be an essential oil, they might be a different variety, a different genus, a different species that is not supposed to be in that particular oil, okay? So we want to make sure that the oils that we get are absolutely the plant substance that doesn't have anything added to it. And so the other thing we want to look at is that there are no contaminants in it. We don't want to have any pesticides, any herbicides, any chemicals whatsoever. And so we want to look at that. And this particular list of essential oils did not say anything about contaminants, but it did say that there were adulterations. And one of the adulterations that was almost universal in all of the oils that they tested was a synthetic version of a chemical called, and I may get this all wrong, linalool acetate. Now, linalool acetate, and somebody posted this in the comments on the page, is a naturally occurring chemical in plants. And thank you for bringing that to our attention. But in every case in this report, when they saw that component, they said it was a synthetic component, not a original organic component. So this is why we're concerned about this, because even though it heightens the smell, is what I would imagine, that's why they put that in there, so it just smells so much better. Even though they do that, I think it changes the vibrational frequencies, and the oils are not going to do what you want them to do. So I'm just going to throw that out there. When I'm going to do oils, when I'm going to purchase oils, I'm going to purchase oils from someplace where I am able to look at the lab reports to see what they say. Now, one thing that disturbed me is that the lab reports from the companies differed from the lab reports or the independent testing. And I do know how businesses work because I own one. And sometimes, and I've seen this happen, I've seen companies that have been family-owned companies, and then they have an IPO and they become publicly traded companies. They get a board of directors, and the board of directors wants to have a higher return on investment, and so the company is forced by the board of directors to start cheapening their product so they get more of a profit margin. Now, I'm not saying anybody in this report is doing that. I'm not saying that at all. I don't know what the motivation is to add these synthetic compounds, but these synthetic compounds are in every company except 3. Yes, in every company except 3. And so that's really disturbing, because I want to be able to produce, or not produce, but to have on offer oils that come from independently sourced testing. So I'm just going to throw that out there. There was one other thing that I wanted to say about the testing. Okay, oh yes, testing. So this is important. So I'm not sure that everybody is adulterating their oils in a malicious manner. Okay, it says, according to the American College of Healthcare Sciences, the quality of an essential oil may be compromised depending on the season, the year, the climate, the location, as well as the extraction process and the storage. Okay, so that's important. And then furthermore, and this is the last little thing I want to say, there are no quality control standards for essential oils in the United States. Now, this is sad. This is really sad. I think in Europe, they do have a national body that will make sure that your oils are pure. But in the United States, there are no standards. It says, so it is vital that companies provide online quality reports and perform at least 2 tests on their oils. And these are the ones I mentioned before: gas chromatography and mass spectrometry, also known as GCMS. Oh, GCMS, that's so much easier to say. So it says all of the companies in our list provide online access to their GCMS tests. However, the results are not easy to understand without a background in chemical sciences. And to test our oil samples for purity, we decided to hire an independent lab to perform these tests and help us interpret the results. Now, I think this is important to have third-party certification. Now, we, as a company, we buy a lot of different products from a lot of different vendors, and we always want to make sure that these vendors are third-party certified. Now, what does that mean? That means that when I get a bottle, we'll say this bottle right here, when I get a bottle and it says on the ingredients that it has XYZ whatever, I want to make sure that this has gone to an independent third-party lab and they verify, yes, what is in it is in it. There's nothing extra, there's nothing missing. What they say is in it is in it. And so we try and source all of our products that have third party. One of the things that I don't do, and we get offers to do this all the time, Dr. Polly, why don't we put your face and your name and your brand on these supplements, and you can have your own line of supplements. And it's like, why would I want to do that? Number one, I'm not making those supplements. And so if I put my name on those supplements, that's telling you that I had something to do with it, and trust me, I don't. And number two, I don't want the responsibility. I want to be able to source my things from people that know what they're doing, and they've been in the business a long time. And so we make sure that what's in there is what is in there. And the thing that I tell the people that want me to do the private label is, you know what, I could get the cheapest ingredients and I could put my name and my face on it and you would never know the difference. I would know the difference because I wouldn't be getting the results that we get, and I would know the difference too because I have too much integrity to do that. I would not do that. So we want to have the oils tested, not just XYZ company, this is their lab reports. We want to have third-party testing, and that's what I want. All right, so I'm going to give you, because my time is running out, oh my goodness, I'm going to give you the names of these companies. So doTERRA, everybody knows doTERRA. I told you that already. Okay, so the companies that were found to have adulteration, or let me do that another way, it's too many. The only companies that were found not to be adulterated, okay, these are the only three companies that all three of their oils were exactly as they claimed, with no added ingredients. One of them is doTERRA. It is one. The second one is Ameo Zija, Z-I-J-A. And the third one was Aromatics International. So these were tested at a state-of-the-art laboratory. The people that are doing this, they don't have any axe to grind with anybody. All they're trying to do is to give you the information that you need to know. So, the doTERRA people, I'm going to read you a little bit of what they say. They have 2 million, right, wellness advocates. That's a lot. Okay, that's a lot of wellness advocates. They say that they test according to strict CPTG certified pure therapeutic grades. However, the truth is that there is no such independent body that regulates or accredits the essential oil industry. So this is important, and this is why we say there's a lot of misleading information here. So if I were an uninformed person, and I don't mean that in an ugly way, I am a seeker. I am trying to figure out what essential oil that I want. And I look at this website and I see that it is tested according to the strict XYZ whatever. I'm going to say, oh, wow, this is a very reputable company. And I may do that. All right. It goes on to say, this isn't to say that doTERRA essential oils are bad products. On the contrary, after we tested their oils ourselves through an independent lab, we found their oils were among the few on our list that came back without markers for adulteration. So this is a good thing, okay? They talk about consumer education. They talk about a lot of things. It says on their consumer education, it said, we did notice that some of the information on their website is ambiguous and frankly misleading. And so this is what we want the consumer to have: good, clean information so you're able to make use of the essential oils appropriately. The second one they reviewed was Young Living. Okay, and it does talk about several class action suits that are against Young Living. And just to be fair to the doTERRA people, I have seen Attorney General reports come out where doTERRA has been investigated as well. Both doTERRA and Young Living have made claims, health claims, that the FDA does not let holistic practitioners make, and there have been some lawsuits on that. There's been more than one on both companies, so I'm just throwing that out there. They talked about one that is one lady just being disgruntled, so I don't know that we put any stock in that. But we do put stock. In fact, I did call the Attorney General whenever I saw that he was investigating both Young Living and doTERRA. This was last year. I can't remember the state, but we did call them and we did ask them if this is a bona fide lawsuit, or is this just, something crazy? So, and in that particular case, they were issuing cease and desist letters for people claiming that the oils did something medicinal that you can't claim that does. Now, that's not to say that essential oils don't help in those conditions. It just says we can't say that out loud, okay? It says throughout the years, Young Living has been on the public radar for engaging in other irresponsible business practices, such as making deceptive health claims and trafficking illegal plant material. Now, this is really important for us who want to love on the planet and make sure that the oils are sensibly sourced. And so it goes in and gives a little bit more evidence on that. It says that they're sourcing their products from completely vetted corporate-owned farms, partner farms, seed-to-seal certified suppliers. However, in as recent as 2017, the company pled guilty to illegally harvesting and trafficking endangered species of rosewood and spikenard from Peru. Okay? Over the span of 4 years, Young Living illegally harvested 86 tons, the equivalent of $3.5 million of Peruvian rosewood from the jungles of Peru, and illegally transported it. Okay? I don't know why they do that. I don't know why, but that's on the report there. It says their consumer education. It has quite extensive information, and it says they have a blog called Lavender Life. Okay, so all of that is good. It did say that the results of the Young Living lavender came back adulterated with synthetic markers of that linalool acetate. The Aracacia, now you can buy Aracacia in any retail health food store. I don't think it's a multi-level marketing product. When I look at it and look at its price, I think almost all of them are in a carrier oil, so they're not the neat oil that you're going to get from other suppliers. And it says with them, it turns out their essential oil sourcing is hard to track. There are distillers out there that have found ways to engineer chemical compounds that are so similar to the biological ones found naturally in the plants, it's almost impossible to detect adulteration. However, the testing from the independent labs showed that there were synthetic markers in the lavender oil. Okay, mountain rose herbs, and we've heard of mountain rose herbs. The one thing they commented and commended them for is that they say essential oils are for external use only. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this because there are people out there that want you to ingest the oils. You are not supposed to ingest the oils unless you are working with a medical practitioner who has indemnity insurance, so that if you hurt yourselves with these essential oils, they've got insurance to cover you. So there's a lot of controversy about this, and the focus group commended this particular company for saying do not take these oils internally. So we like that, and I particularly like that too. One of the things that they said here, that before they will buy these herbs, they want a pre-ship sample so they can run their test on it to make sure that it has what it says it has in it. Okay? The statement is ambiguous at best because it doesn't provide any details beyond stating they analyze the samples using an organoleptic test. That just means they do the smell test. Okay, they touch it, they look at it, and they smell it. So that's not really a good test to see what's going on. Both their lavender and tea tree came back negative, but their peppermint had other things in there, which we really don't need anything else in the peppermint other than just peppermint. okay? So plant therapy, and somebody specifically asked about the plant therapy. And this is a company that is in collaboration with Robert Tisserand, who is one of the leading authorities on essential oil. He's not going to be real happy with them because both of their essential oils, the lavender and the peppermint, did have synthetic components in there. And as I said earlier, the tea tree, it's hard to tell when tea tree is adulterated, so we really don't know on that. And what that may be is a good thing, that tea tree is so strong and so volatile, maybe nothing else will stick to it. And we love tea tree because of its antibacterial, antiviral properties, okay? So the packaging was really good. They liked the packaging, and they liked the fact that you could use, and they gave you consumer information on how to use their oils on your animals, on your dogs, and on your horses. Okay, so this is good. However, their lack of transparency in their educational materials creates a problem, as their consumers do not know exactly where their oils come from, how they are harvested, and the working conditions of the people at harvest time. So they're giving you the good and the bad of all of these little companies, right? Let's see. The next one is the Ameo, A-M-E-O. Maybe I'm not saying that right, but that's the way I would say it. It said the company sets high standards to ensure the quality of their products and seem genuinely committed to offering their farmers living wages, decent working conditions, but we're not thrilled about the company's business model, okay? So they have a loyalty rewards program, and they weren't just real happy about that. But this particular oil, all of its oils were pure and unadulterated. So if I were going to be looking for an oil, that's one that I would like to look at. They give you a lot of good information on their sustainability, and all of their oils tested negative for adulteration. So this is good. Aromatics, again, they notice that the website was good, although it did use a lot of flowery language. But Aromatics was another one of those companies that had zero adulteration in those three oils. Now, does that mean that those three oils is the be-all and end-all? No, they tested those three oils because they are the most frequently purchased oils. You know, they may have, if you sent bergamot or if you sent lang lang or whatever, you might find a different result in those particular oils. We just don't know because we're not looking. When we're looking, and I have the little cheat sheet here, and you can download this yourself and do your own little cheat sheet. On 4 of the companies, only 1 oil had adulteration. On quite a few, we had 2 oils that had adulteration. Of course, nobody was dirty on the tea tree, but again, that has its own little things on there, okay? The Now review was not stellar, but it has an article on their page that talks about why consumers should care about essential oil. Their peppermint came back adulterated, and their lavender came back adulterated. Now, their peppermint had other peppermint oils put in it rather than the one that they said was on it. And so it was cut with inferior oils. And then the lavender had that synthetic marker on there, okay? Eden's Garden, we've heard of that. And they say about Eden's Garden, the lavender oil that we purchased from them came back with indicators of adulteration. So that's not good. Rocky Mountain Oils, again. The thing they liked about Rocky Mountain is that they ship their oils in recyclable paper and in recyclable cardboard. So they're really taking their good earth mentality to that. So they love that. It said, when we ordered the 3 essential oils from Rocky Mountain, we did indeed receive our oils safely enclosed in sustainable packaging. This was the only essential oil company we ordered from that delivered their products to us in recycled paper and cardboard. So this is a big deal. I mean, if you are trying to save the planet, and who isn't, then we need to look at the packaging. All right. Unfortunately, they did find other menthols and acetates in their peppermint oil. I love peppermint oil, don't you? There's just so many things that we can do with it. Artisan Aromatics. It doesn't have, their website does not have a section solely addressing their sustainable sourcing practices, yet throughout their website you can find additional details that prove the company's commitment to sustainability. Okay, one of the things that they talked about was sandalwood, and we know that sandalwood is becoming rarer and rarer. And it says that they've chosen to source this oil from Australia as opposed to India due to the devastation of the sandalwood forest for the essential oil production in that country. So we want to be good to the earth. We want to be good. We want to source things reliably. We want to make sure that things are good. Okay. Also, Artisan Aromatics says that unlike the other companies we looked into, Artisan Aromatics does not sell essential oils as a lifestyle choice or a trend to keep up with, but as an ancient practice with medicinal properties when used in the right context and in the right measure. Okay, so they also are one of the few companies that takes the time to inform consumers about the importance of understanding essential oils before purchase. And this is really, really important. And you know, I don't go into health food stores and I don't think there's testers of essential oils. When I have gone in before, I have not seen testers. You just have to buy what they have and then go home and see if you like it or not. That might be something that would be good, a good practice. I don't know. I mean, we do have essential oil here and we don't do testers either, although in my office, right behind me, I have a box of essential oils that are open. So if you want to smell them and see if you like them, you can certainly do that. It says, in fact, as you enter their website, you are greeted with a banner that explains that satisfaction with essential oils depends on choosing the right oil and using it properly. All right. It said that this particular company, Artisan Aromatics, had the best selection of quality educational material and resources to help the customers know exactly what they're purchasing, where it comes from, and how to safely use it. So I love the fact that they give pros and cons for each of these companies, and then you are able to choose the oil that you want to have. And so I don't think this was a hatchet job on any of the companies. On every one of these 11 companies, there were pros and cons. And as consumers, we need to know that. And so I just wanted to kind of give you the down and dirty facts. I think the report was like 58 pages, had a lot of pictures and different things. But hopefully, and you might not even use any of these 11 companies. I know I don't. We use Bear Oils, and then we use another company called Kelly's Oils or something like that. And they do have third-party certified testing from a very reputable lab. So we're very confident that what we are getting is a good, beneficial essential oil for you. So that's about the end of all I have to say today. Today is Friday. It is the weekend. I'm excited about that. I want you guys to enjoy yourself, take some rest. It is the summer solstice today. It is the longest day of the year, so don't kind of overdo it. Love yourself and rest and recover over the weekend. Take care. See you next week.